What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Blake Williams of DodgerBlue.com. Blake, today I want to ask you a question that I think every Dodgers fan has pretty much been asking themselves since the day Gavin Lux blew up his knee, which is, what's the plan at shortstop for the Dodgers today? Now, it seemed like they had a plan. It was Miguel Rojas with a little bit of Chris Taylor sprinkled in. Rojas is on the injured list as we speak. Chris Taylor is not on the injured list, but appears to be injured. And both those guys haven't been very good up until this point. We saw Mookie Betts sprinkle in a little bit on Thursday night. So I'll turn the floor over to you. If Andrew Friedman came to you and said, Blake, we need a plan at shortstop for at least the next 30 to 45 days, what would you say to him?
Well, my answer of building a time machine isn't acceptable by you. So I'm going to say you have to play Mookie at shortstop and get Michael Busch up to the major league level to play left field or second base or wherever they need his bat in the lineup. And their offense has been very inconsistent, and I think he can help kind of build on that. And the only way to really get him in the lineup is to get Mookie at shortstop.
You're coming around, Blake. This is just a beautiful thing. The Mookie to shortstop movement is off and running. He turns a nice double play on Thursday night. That was his one put out attempt that he had. But talk me through that a little. So Mookie moves to shortstop. Now all of a sudden you've got three outfield positions open. Obviously we've got King Outman, who's just absolutely clearing things in the outfield. Makes a nice defensive play in right field as well. So Outman has locked down an everyday spot in one of the three. The problem then is you have Hayward, you have Thompson, you have Peralta, you have Taylor as the other four guys who could play out there, all of whom have not been awesome, I guess is a nice way to put it. And I should maybe not all of them haven't. Trace's numbers look okay. Hayward's numbers look okay. Peralta has been worth negative 0.3 wins above replacement this season. He's got a 28 weighted runs created plus. Taylor's at 62. Hayward is at 112, so he's above average. Thompson is still at 162 in the weighted runs created plus metric. So you mentioned Michael Busch as well. So how would you sort of structure the outfield? Like, is Michael Busch coming up to play every single day? Is he part of a platoon out there in left field? Well, how would you play it out?
Michael Busch has played some left field in the minor leagues. He still needs some work, but I would hope with positioning and just continued work out there, they could kind of hide him there and keep building him up there. I don't think he can really play defense great at any position to begin with. So you just got to find a spot and pick that for him and just let him run with it. So I think if you just kind of hide him in left field, it'll be okay. And then that gives you four guys to platoon and mix around in right field with whoever's hot at the time. So you might be seeing Taylor versus a lefty, and then Trace mixing in versus lefties or righties because he has kind of reverse splits already. And then Peralta and Hayward, whoever's the hot bat at the time. It's just got to be something you keep mixing around with whoever's playing the best at the time because I don't think any of them really deserve to have their spot locked down.
And then is this just a short-term thing? Like, is this only until Miguel Rojas comes back? Or speaking of weighted runs created plus, is Miguel Rojas's 3 in that column a little too low to where you say, give the job to Mookie, and if Michael Busch hits and can play the outfield, and if you can get enough production out of the non-Outman, non-Busch outfielders, is this sort of a potential plan moving forward?
I think it could be, but it's really just up to whoever is doing the best at the time. Like Miguel Rojas is not going to have a 3 weighted runs created plus all year. He's been closer to like 70 to 100-ish in his career most of the time. So if he can play at that level, he's going to be fine playing a lot of shortstop every day, and you can keep Mookie in the outfield. But if he's not going to produce or he keeps staying injured, he's already had multiple injuries this year, then it is a real plan that they should consider, and keeping Busch in the lineup would be important for this team.
And I'm curious, last thing here, is there anybody not on the roster right now that interests you? I mean, we've talked about the farm system. They don't have anybody that can both play shortstop and who is ready to come up. That would have been Jacob Amaya, who was shipped out in exchange for Miguel Rojas, unfortunately. There's obviously external options. Jose Iglesias has been the popular name of late. He was cut loose, or I guess he had a minor league deal with the Marlins that he got out of. This is a guy who a year ago put up a 292 batting average and an 85 weighted runs created plus for the Rockies, which is a pretty difficult thing to do, both of those things. I know you're not a Javi Baez fan, but I mean, is there Tim Anderson is hurt? Like, is there anybody out there not in the Dodgers organization that you think is worth kicking the tires? Or do you look at all those options and say, we're not upgrading over Miguel Rojas or Chris Taylor, so just leave things as they are?
I don't think there's any external options. Most of them are either on a long-term deal or locked in with a playoff caliber team. Like the Brewers aren't going to trade Willy Adames right now. Tim
Yeah.
Anderson's hurt, as you mentioned, and most of the guys are just on long-term deals. The shortstop position, it's deep, but it's also very top-heavy. Like there's 15 or so players who are really good, and then the rest is just kind of like not something you want out there every day. So the Dodgers are just kind of left with what they're with. They didn't sign Machado back. They didn't sign Turner back. They didn't sign Seager back, and we're seeing the results of that. You passed on 3 All-Star caliber shortstops, and now this is what they have.
Yeah, obviously the Lux injury. Lux was the plan, to be fair. He tears his ACL, but clearly they didn't have a back. Well, I shouldn't say that. They had a backup plan. It was Miguel Rojas, and Miguel Rojas is both injured at the moment and has been really, really bad offensively up until this point in the season. But I mean, Mookie Betts, we'll see. We'll see if the Dodgers take this seriously. He seems to indicate, based on his post-game quotes, that he's pretty comfortable playing shortstop. He's at least open to it. I imagine he's the type of guy that is going to be good just about anywhere you put him. Obviously, shortstop's a premium position, so if he can hit and give you league average defense there, which I know you and I have debated whether or not he can give you league average defense at shortstop. But if he can give you those things and Outman continues to hit, and as you said, I'm with you. I mean, Michael Busch needs to be the guy to come up. Now, where that roster spot comes from, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I don't know if you can carry Michael Busch and James Outman and Trace, Peralta, Hayward, and Taylor. It's like 7 outfielders. Feels like it's a little bit excessive, but I guess because Taylor and maybe even Michael Busch have a little bit of versatility, you can kind of make that work with Busch getting some time in AAA at third base, at second base, and left field. But you and I are in agreement on that. I think you play Mookie Betts at shortstop. You play Outman every day. You bring Michael Busch up and figure out the rest later. So we'll see. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. What is the plan at shortstop for the Dodgers? What should the plan at shortstop for the Dodgers be? Do you believe in Mookie Betts there? Let us know below. That's Blake. My name is Jeff. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Make sure you check out Dodger Blue 1958 on social media. If you're a podcast person, check out the DodgerHeads podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get that. And of course, subscribe and ring the notification bell right here on YouTube as well. Blake, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Dodgers.